You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? That's what Uber is all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way. So you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hi, this is Tom Cock. This is an overused phrase, but I'm going to use it anyway. From a pretty famous baseball player who's been passed away for a few years. It's deja vu all over again. And truly, for those of us over the age of 60, yeah, it really is. And for those of you younger, you got to pay attention. What's he talking about? I'm talking about the return of day trading, the return of utter speculation, the return of easy money in the stock market, because it only goes up until, by the way, today, when this is being recorded, when it's down almost 5%. Let's step back and talk about what's going on and what you should believe. By the way, if you're a young person listening, or if you're a parent that has a young person that is trading their way to nirvana. Now, I know it's easier than ever to trade, right? And it's easier than ever to trade free. And it's easier than ever to even buy fractional shares. You can buy a part of Amazon share because you can't afford the whatever $2,000 it's trading at, or Tesla, whatever, right? That has led to a huge upswing in the number of trading accounts opened at Schwab, opened at Fidelity, opened at other places, or at Robinhood, right? Which they are calling a generational buying moment. 3 million new accounts at Robinhood in the first quarter. 10 million clients there at an average age of 31, which is the operative. I'm not saying if you're young, you're not intelligent. I'm not saying if you're young, you don't know what you're doing. But we're going to give you a little history lesson here in just a minute. One of the folks that's now involved in trading at Robinhood is a gentleman named Rodney Henderson, quoted in this article, who's 27. Rodney says, the stock market is so much more democratized. Everyone sort of has access to it now, and it's free. I still think that's the main driver here. The trading is free, fractional shares are here, and just the enthusiasm for seeing something that you may or may not have that much experience with seems to go up at a very steady pace of the last couple of months. And by the way, everyone's looked pretty smart trading stocks the last few months because they've had a few terrific, absolutely amazing months. By the way, one of the stocks that's been very popular at Robinhood and other places is a certain auto rental company called Hertz. Hertz went from 41 cents to $5.53. Let me say that again. Trading at one point at 41 cents, then jumped to $5.53, and now closer to $2. Okay, that's one piece of evidence. The other, penny stocks. Wow, penny stocks went up on average 80% in 1 week. People piled into penny stocks because the money, again, was so easy. Stocks trading below $1 a share, an average gain of 80% in 1 week, according to the institutional equity derivatives team at Citadel Securities. The information obtained there by CNBC. And then, for those of you who think stocks just aren't exciting enough, you can put your money in individual real estate projects. That's right. You don't have to just own a boring old real estate investment trust. No, you can go to a location called Crowd Street and pick and choose the projects you want to actually put your money in. So the increase there for demand over 50%, because you could pick, say, a new apartment complex in Seattle. And we all know how great Seattle is growing and how much the new tech employees are going to need a place to live. Pop it in that and see your money go up very quickly, get paid back, of course, the dividends as they're collecting rent, that kind of thing. By the way, one of the reasons I think demand there has gone up is on their homepage, it has IRR equals 24%, internal rate of return of 24%. Do you think that gets people excited about your product? My guess is it really does. So more people trading, more people in stocks, more people believing that speculation really is the way to trade your way to making money. By the way, the gentleman I mentioned a little earlier had took the $1,200 stimulus check from his sister, turned it into $10,000 very quickly. Probably thought he was a genius. Another person is now online saying, I am far smarter than Warren Buffett because Buffett sold out of all his airline stocks right at the bottom, and I've been making money every day in the market. What do we make of all this? Well, you and I, for the most part, have been through this. We saw this in the late 1990s, right? Day trading was red hot. It was easy. By the way, so was real estate flipping, because real estate never goes down. Stock market never went down, certainly in the late 90s. Everyone traded their ways to big money. And we came later to find out, when they actually looked at the numbers, that day traders did not make much money. In fact, most of them lost money. Very few people figured out how to trade their way to making more than just an index fund. And by the way, the biggest day traders of all time, called hedge funds, that have all the advantages, spend hundreds of millions of dollars investigating companies, trying to figure out if Hertz can pay off all their debt and still make a go of it with the autos. They have performed less than index funds too. But let's assume that you're a person that really believes all this. I'm gonna watch the markets every day. Stocks are gonna make me rich. I can trade for nothing. And you're an old man, Tom. I'm not going to pay attention to you. Let's assume that that's you. Okay, let me give you just a couple little rules I suggest. And by the way, it might be your kids or grandkids that are doing that. You could suggest as well. Number one, I would never do this in a retirement account. Ever, 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 ever. Because retirement monies should be invested in a way that give you growth over time. And you're not looking to speculate there. You're looking to make market-like returns. The only reason you never own individual stock or trade it is to make more than the market, right? You make market-like returns for 30 years, you're going to be in great shape. So I would never do it that way. I would, again, never invest this way if it was money I needed within 5 years for a house or for education or any of those things. Because that brings me to number three. I would only invest this money if I was ready to lose it all, because that's what we've seen with day traders, right? They speculate. They think they see something that others don't see. By the way, those hedge funds that are doing about 90% of the trades, large institutional mutual funds or hedge funds are responsible for somewhere around 90%, and you're trading with them? There's no way I would be in that pool, because I'm betting that they're going to be smarter than me. Never in a retirement account, never money I need within 5 years. And then the final part is realize that over the long haul, all of the evidence shows, study after study, that this is a loser's game. You're unlikely to make more than the market, and you may face a huge loss if you speculate on a particular penny stock and it goes away. No way. Index funds still the best way I know of for the very long haul. I'm Tom Cock.
Talking real money.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only.
Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times.
Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future.
So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring.
Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities.
Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor.
Thanks for listening, and please visit TalkingRealMoney.com for more information and disclosures.
That's a wrap.